Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, supporting your journey with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Thanks for joining me in this episode of Ask the Stones, where I offer spiritual guidance, advice, and encouragement for life's challenging questions. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Ask the Stones. In this episode, we have a question from Braden. Hi, Christian. My mom passed away last year, and I'm missing her a lot, especially during the holidays. I wish I could call her up and ask how she prepared some of her dishes. She died after a long battle with cancer, and I wish I had asked for her recipes before she died so that I can recreate them. I really regret not doing that. How can I deal with my regret? Braden, thank you for your question, and I first want to say that I am sorry for your loss. Dealing with the loss of a loved one is one of the most difficult life changes that we will ever experience. And so I am very sorry for your loss. We have all experienced loss of loved ones. And, if you haven't, that's wonderful. And I'm sorry, you will. So this is a challenge that we all face. And it never gets any easier, does it? You know, there's the saying that time heals all wounds. But I actually don't believe that, Braden. I believe that time helps. And I think that time lessens the intensity of the pain. But I am sure that you are always going to feel sadness over the loss of your mother, and I am sure that you are always going to miss her, and so I am sorry for your loss. You know, you express a desire to just call her up and ask her questions and regret over not asking her questions, particularly about her recipes before she passed away. You know, you may be wishing that you could remember how to make her mashed potatoes, and you just wish that she was there, that you could call her up and ask her that. And, you know, Braden, I think the truth is that no matter what you might have questions about, you would always be wishing that you could just call your mother and ask. And so, Braden, even if you had, before she passed away, asked her to write down all of her recipes, or you had asked her, Mom, how do you make the mashed potatoes so good? Even if you had an opportunity to do that, Braden, or had thought to do that, there would be other things that you would be thinking, gosh, I wish I could just pick up the phone and call and ask. And so, Braden, I really want to encourage you to not beat yourself up over the questions that you didn't ask, because there will always be more questions. If it wasn't food, it would be raising children, or being a good partner, or a problem with your house, or your car, or over and over and over again. There would always be things that you would be wishing that you could ask. And then if you had asked about the recipes, you know, you would be feeling regret. Oh, I should have asked her about the house. Oh, I should have asked her about being a good partner. Oh, I should have asked about kids. You know, you would always have those feelings, Braden. I am very fortunate. Both of my parents are currently still alive. And so I have the opportunity to call my mom up when I have those questions, and I feel incredibly fortunate for that. But I know I was very close with my paternal grandmother, and I know that sometimes I find myself thinking, "Oh, Grandma, what would you do to these mashed potatoes to make them taste better?" Grandma's answer was probably a lot of butter, which I don't ever really use at all. That would probably be Grandma's answer. Probably, maybe, I don't know, Braden, your mother's answer. But it's been a long time since she passed away, and I still find myself, especially when cooking, because she was a great cook, as well as I'm sure your mother was, asking those questions. Oh, what would Grandma do? And sometimes I do talk to her and I say, "Okay, Grandma, what do you think?" And she'll, or maybe even not Grandma, but someone will give me some guidance on the cooking. So, yes, I understand your pain, Braden, and your wish to just ask your mom these questions. And so I'm very sorry for that. Braden, I also want to talk about this idea of regret, because ultimately you are feeling regret over the questions that you didn't ask. And regret is tricky, isn't it? And regret really is so very human, and we all feel regret to varying degrees throughout our lives for different things. And I believe that one of the challenges with regret is that we are focusing on the things that we didn't do or did do, and not focusing on the things that we didn't do or did do or did do or didn't do. So what I'm saying, Braden, is that I encourage you, rather than focusing on the questions that you didn't get to ask, because remember, there will always be questions that you didn't ask, that you didn't get to ask, or you didn't think to ask. And so you're always going to have feelings of, "Gosh, I wish I had asked that." I encourage you instead to think about the things that you did get to ask, and to think about the things that you did get to talk about. You indicate that she had a long battle, which I'm sure must have been a real challenge for your whole family. And so I encourage you to think about, during that battle, those things that you did talk about. Maybe the memories that you shared, the information that you did learn, the questions that you did ask. Because I'm sure, Braden, that you didn't waste that time. I'm sure that you did talk about things. I'm sure that you did get information, and that you did have moments that you will be able to cherish for the rest of your life during that time. And so if you weren't focusing on the food, on the recipes, there were other things that you were thinking about, other things that you were talking about, and other things that you were learning from her. And so I really encourage you to focus on and be thankful for those things. It was, I believe, Alexander Graham Bell who said, I'm going to paraphrase here, Braden, because I don't remember his exact quote, but it was something to the effect of, "When one door closes, another one opens." Yes, we've heard that, right? But he went on to say, "But we look so longingly, so long and longingly, remorsefully at the closed door, that we fail to see the open door." And that's really what FOMO, fear of missing out, is all about, isn't it? We're so focused on looking at the closed door, the option that we didn't pick, that we aren't focusing on the option that we did pick. And so, you're feeling, especially now, with the cooking and the gathering of family, the recipes, the sharing. Of course, right now you're focused on the recipes, because that's what is in the forefront of your mind right now. That's the closed door that's right in front of you. But I want to encourage you, Braden, to turn from the closed door and to think about and focus on the open doors. To think about the things that you did talk about and to be thankful for those things. You know, another challenge, of course, with this is our current COVID situation, which really heightens feelings of isolation and sadness over family gatherings that we may not be able to have. And so, of course, that heightens those feelings too, Braden. So I encourage us all to be gentle with ourselves during this time, during the holidays, during moments when maybe we aren't able to get together with our families and we're feeling a real sense of loss and sadness around that. Don't brush those feelings off. I encourage you not to recognize the sadness, to recognize the loss of not being able to spend the time with your loved ones that you might wish that you could, especially during the holidays, which of course are typically always all about gathering with family and or loved ones, family, blood or chosen, friends, and just engaging in the sharing together. So I send you blessings at this time and blessings to everyone at this time. So thank you, Braden, for bringing this to us. You know, I also want to say something, Braden, about grief itself and recognizing that it takes time to heal. You know, like I said, I don't believe that time heals all wounds. I believe that it's going to decrease them. And as you grow and as you age, you know, you will be feeling your sadness a little less acutely, but you will always still be feeling sadness. You will always still be feeling a sense of loss over your loved one. You know, this is a person who you love and loved and love always will very much. And so I encourage you to recognize that it's okay to continue to feel the grief, and it's okay to continue to feel the sadness, and to recognize that your mother only passed away last year. And it's going to take time for that sadness to decrease. A year is really not a long time in our human lives, especially when it comes to the loss of a loved one. And so I encourage you to recognize that and to accept any feelings that you might be having. You know, for a few years after my grandmother's death, I was having dreams about her. I was waking up from those dreams crying when she would come visit me during those dreams. I haven't had one of those dreams for a long time. You know, it's been quite a number of years. 20 years? Yes, almost 20 years. And so I can tell you that my sadness, of course, has decreased. But you know, I still think of her. I still ask her questions. I still talk to her. And so it's, you know, been 20 years, but the sadness is, of course, still there, Braden, as it will be with your mother as well. Braden, I would like to play a little flute for you in honor of your mother. And I would like to play a little flute in honor of all of us and the loss of our loved ones who are so dear to us, because we have all experienced loss of loved ones, family, friends, blood family, chosen family, whomever. I encourage you to think of the ones who you have lost as I send blessings out to you in your grief. Thank you. Braden, I would also like to send some Reiki to you at this time. And I would also like to send Reiki to all of us who have experienced the loss of a loved one. As always, if you are not interested in receiving the Reiki, don't worry, it won't come to you. I just encourage you to take a few deep cleansing breaths. Thank you. And Braden, I'm going to draw a card for you, and the card that I'm going to draw needs to be from the Archangel deck. We need to bring in the archangels for this, because this is deep healing. You know, this is, as I mentioned, one of the greatest, if not greatest, life challenge that we will ever face is the loss of a loved one. And knowing that without them, our lives will never be the same in some way, shape, or form. And so let's call out to the angels for some guidance now on this and see what the angels might have to say for you, Braden. Braden, Archangel Michael says you are safe. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. Braden, know that Archangel Michael is with you at this time during your feelings of your sense of loss and your recognition of that sense of loss. I encourage you to call on Archangel Michael and to know that you are loved, that you are surrounded by love, that you are surrounded by the angels, surrounded by your loved ones. Even if you don't believe that your mother can hear you and send messages to you, I encourage you to, as you're cooking, you may want to say, Mom, gosh, what would you do right now? What would you think? What do I need to do to this pie, Mom? And just be open to what comes. Just be listening and open to receiving. Braden, I send you best wishes for your journey. I send you love and light. I encourage you to work to let go of that feeling of regret and to focus on the things that you did get to talk about with your mom during the last phase of her life with you, and focusing on all of the blessings that came during that time and not the regrets about things that you didn't get to ask, because there will always be things that you wished you had asked or could ask. Thank you, Braden, for this question. Thank you to all for listening. I appreciate your listening. I appreciate your views. If you have suggestions for Braden, please feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have suggestions on how to heal and move on after the loss of a loved one, please definitely do offer those in the comments. There is so much to say on this topic. Thank you, and best wishes to you on your journey. Again, I am Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, supporting your journey with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Blessings. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Ask the Stones. If you have a question for the Stones, connect with me at standingstoneshealing.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Standing Stones Healing. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey.